When Venus is conjunct the South Node in a natal chart, it acts like a portal to unresolved karma from past lives, particularly around themes of love, beauty, art, relationships, and value systems. Imagine carrying fragments of a love story that ended abruptly, or unfinished works of art left behind in another lifetime. These fragments can manifest as innate talents, reoccurring relationship patterns, or even an inexplicable pull towards certain people, places, or aesthetics. This aspect suggests the soul has spent many lifetimes deeply engaged with Venetian pursuits, creating beauty, seeking connection, or exploring sensuality, but not without complications. In past incarnations, there may have been betrayal, loss, or indulgence in these areas, leaving an energetic imprint that demands attention in this life. Venus conjunct the South Node is like carrying a treasure chest of past life experiences around Venetian themes: love, relationships, beauty, values, and art. The South Node is the cosmic memory bank, where we store what we have already mastered, or where we've gotten stuck. So Venus's conjunction to this karmic point suggests a person whose magnetism and creativity feel almost otherworldly, as though they've been given lifetimes of refining their sense of beauty and connection. But this treasure chest isn't just filled with jewels. It also contains weights, patterns that may limit growth until fully understood. Natal Venus conjunct the South Node often creates relationships that feel faded, like deja vu of the heart. These connections are irresistible, with an intensity that makes you feel like you've known the other person forever. And maybe you have. When Venus dances with the South Node, it does suggest karmic bonds, unfinished business from previous lifetimes that demand resolution. Venus conjunct the South Node often marks individuals with an inherent talent for the arts. These gifts feel innate, as though they've been developed over lifetimes. Singer PJ Harvey's ability to channel her raw emotions into poetic and hauntingly beautiful music is an example of this type of karmic mastery in action. The South Node can represent what feels safe or what feels comfortable but also stagnant. Venus here can create attachment to past ideals of love or beauty that no longer serve the individual's growth. Addiction can also be a shadow side of Venus conjunct the South Node. This placement can create a yearning so deep that it feels insatiable. When the craving manifests in love, material excess, or creative pursuits, the South Node amplifies Venus's hunger while tethering it to the past. It is as if the soul remembers the sweetness of something: love, luxury, artistic mastery, but it can't fully grasp it in the present. In Venus conjunct the South Node native PJ Harvey's work, themes of longing and surrender echo into this dynamic. Her song, To Bring You My Love, is an anthem of desperate devotion, illustrating the Venus South Node pattern of yearning for something that feels both divine but also destructive. Relationships under this influence can become all-consuming, like a rich wine that tastes heavenly but leaves you reeling the next morning. So the lesson is learning to moderate, whether it is in love, consumption, or the pursuit of beauty. PJ Harvey and Nick Cave's relationship exemplifies this. The two were drawn together like magnets, their union brimming with creative energy, passion, and an undercurrent of unresolved tension. As Cave once reflected, his time with Harvey felt like a quote-unquote bad drug, a relationship so intoxicating it became overwhelming. This is a classic manifestation of Venus South Node stuff, the pull of attraction so strong it's almost addictive, yet it's still fraught with lessons about letting go. So whether it is love or beauty or material pleasures, this placement benefits from mindful consumption. Venus conjunct the South Node can lead to overindulgence in what feels good, but isn't necessarily good for you. So it's good to practice discernment. The South Node is the safe haven that we retreat to when we're unsure about growth. Venus conjunct the South Node can make the familiar feel enchanting. Old patterns of love, the well-trodden creative paths, the nostalgia of what was. But staying in this comfort zone often comes at a cost. It stagnates growth and it prevents the individual from reaching the potential promised by the North Node. So, with this aspect, it's important to recognize your patterns. Ask yourself, what relationships or habits feel deeply familiar but leave you stuck? Do you find yourself repeating the same cycles in love or in money or creative endeavors? Awareness is the first step to breaking free. The evolutionary purpose of Venus conjunct the South Node is to move beyond karmic attachments to love, beauty, and values that feel safe but stagnant. It's about transforming well-worn patterns into tools for growth, while resisting the temptation to stay tethered to what is familiar but no longer serves the soul's evolution. In past lives, the individual likely mastered Venetian themes, relationships, creativity, sensuality, or material abundance, but may have come overly attached to these comforts. So, these experiences may have led to imbalance, indulgence in fleeting pleasures, dependence on external validation, or even just resistance to change in the realm of love and connection. So, in this life, the lesson is not to discard these gifts, but to elevate them, using Venus's energy in ways that align with the soul's highest purpose. Another evolutionary lesson lies in shifting values. In past lives, the individual may have equated self-worth with external validation, beauty, wealth, or the admiration of others. Now, in this lifetime, they're challenged to define their values from within and to ensure that their desires align with their spiritual path. The North Node, as the soul's growth direction, acts as the antidote. By leaning into the qualities of the North Node sign and house, the individual can actually balance the tendencies of Venus conjunct the South Node. This might involve cultivating relationships and creative practices that are more authentic, mutual, and aligned with long-term growth rather than fleeting satisfaction. Ultimately, the evolutionary journey of Venus conjunct the South Node is one of detachment, not in the sense of rejecting love or rejecting beauty, but in learning to experience these things without clinging. The South Node represents what we already have experienced in abundance. The soul no longer needs to linger there. Instead, the individual is called to refine their relationship with Venetian themes, using them as tools for self-discovery rather than sources of dependence. Ways to work with the Venus conjunct the South Node energy. Number 1, transform desire into purpose. Shift from seeking external validation, creating beauty and love that serve a higher purpose. Let go of the need for perfection or control in relationships and creative work. Number 2, balance giving and receiving. Past life karma may involve overgiving or being overly reliant on others in love. The evolutionary task is to develop a balanced partnership rooted in equality and respect. Number 3, embrace the North Node's wisdom. While the South Node represents comfort, the North Node offers the map to evolution. So moving towards the North Node's qualities will help break karmic cycles and create lasting growth. And finally, number 4, heal addictive tendencies. Whether the addiction is to a person, a feeling, or a material pleasure, the lesson is to develop moderation and mindfulness. Practice conscious consumption both in love and in life. Venus conjunct the South Node feels a lot like a love story that you've read before. Dog-eared pages, familiar lines, a plot that loops. It's the magnetic pull of the past, the echoes of old affection, the way certain people feel like home, even when home was the battlefield. So this aspect carries the weight of unfinished love, karmic entanglements that feel fated but often come with an expiration date. It's the lover who appears just as you swore you were done, the patterns that you swore you broke, but you find yourself reenacting with new faces. Love here is nostalgia drunk, wrapped in sepia-toned illusions, promising comfort, but also delivering lessons instead. Yikes. But Venus conjunct the South Node isn't just about past life lovers and deja vu romances. It's about values inherited from another time and aesthetic sensibilities shaped by forgotten experiences and the seductive ease of what's familiar, even when it no longer serves. It's easy to romanticize what we've already known, to mistake old dynamics for security, to believe that just because something has history, it belongs in our future. The challenge with this aspect is to stop mistaking gravity for love. Just because something pulls you in doesn't mean it's meant to hold you. The real work of this placement isn't in clinging to past life love stories, but in evolving beyond them. It's in recognizing where love has been transactional, where it has been more about obligation than desire, and where it required self-sacrifice instead of self-honor. It's in learning to write new endings, to choose love that is expansive rather than familiar, to let go of karmic lovers who were never meant to stay. Venus conjunct the South Node is a test in discernment. Do you keep reliving the past, or do you make space for a future that isn't scripted by what became before? Do you find yourself drawn to relationships that feel inevitable, as if they were always meant to happen, even when they aren't necessarily good for you? Do you mistake intensity for destiny? When love comes easy, do you trust it? Or do you only feel alive when there's something to chase, something to fix, something to prove? If you stripped away the nostalgia, the karmic weight, and the sense of unfinished business, who would you choose? If love wasn't tied to the past, what would it look like? Would you still reach for the same hands? Still walk down the same roads? Or would you finally let yourself go somewhere new? Venus conjunct the South Node is a crossroads disguised as a reunion. The past will always call, but you don't have to answer. Love doesn't have to be a lesson. It doesn't have to be a ghost story. It can be something new, something alive, something that doesn't just ask you to shrink in order to fit inside it. The question isn't whether the past will return, because the past always does return. The real question is whether you're still the same person who once needed it.